One of the most common problems we discover when looking into issues with cash flow is actually invoicing. Many people don't invoice correctly when they should, or how they should, and therefore the knock-on result is an issue with cash flow, i.e. you're not getting paid quick enough. So the first thing we see is clients not raising an invoice once they've done the work. One common way to solve this would be to build in your process, your system, for the work you do at the end of the job, or when you get to the certain point in the job where you can raise an invoice, put in a task in that workflow to raise your invoice. You can even do things with apps like Zapier, where you can send, depending on what software you're using for your workflow, you may be able to send a Zap to Xero to set an invoice up or set a draft up. Something else you could do is when you win the job or get the contract, whichever your sales process enables, is as part of that sales or onboarding process is to set up the invoice then, either as a repeating invoice ready to go out as and when each month or quarter, or however you've got it set up, or to set it up as a draft so it's there ready, so as soon as you finish the work you can approve the invoice and send it. So there's many issues around there that you can look in your processes and make sure that you actually have a process to raise your invoice as soon as the work is done and you can raise the invoice. There's no point in waiting till month end when you've got 20 jobs done in that month and you raise all the invoices on the 31st of the month, and then you give them another 30 days potentially to pay. So in theory, your customer could actually have 60 days then to pay. If you did the work on the 1st or 2nd of the month, you don't invoice it to the 31st, and then you've got 30 more days to pay. That's 60 odd days there. You don't need to be doing that. You need to make sure your cycle is as short as possible so you get paid as quickly as possible. Now, there's a couple of other problems we see with invoices is people who don't raise invoices through their software. I will say Xero here in our case. Raising your software in Xero forces you to put a due date on. Now, this might seem like a really simple, minor thing, but if you don't have a due date on your invoice, when does your client know when they need to pay the invoice? They don't. So they'll use that as an excuse not to pay until you then start chasing it. And you don't really want to be chasing invoices either. You've got many other things to be getting on with your time, and chasing invoices is definitely not one of them, especially when you don't need to. And I think the third biggest problem we see is not offering enough payment services or options. It's all well and good sending out an invoice, putting your bank details on, and then hoping they'll pay. Why not set up payment services? In Xero, there's many different options for payment services. You've got GoCardless, you've got Stripe, you've got PayPal, you've got iWalkerPay. All of these different payment options will help speed up the process and help your clients pay you quickly. Quite often when they do an online invoice, or you send an invoice, raise it through Xero, there's a button they can click to look at their online invoice, and then there's a second button they can click to pay. It's very simple to do. So many people don't use the payment services out there, and they're there to help you. So definitely look into at least one of those different payment options. So if you need any help with any of this, then please do get in touch. Just drop us an email at hello@pinkpigfinancials, and we can get back to you and help you improve your process for invoicing.